Hi crocheters of the world. In this tutorial I want to show you how to crochet with this technique. It's actually the puff stitch worked in rounds, and we will have to increase, and we obtain this kind of braided technique, braided stitch it looks like. Now here I worked a pot holders. I worked it in wool, but maybe it's better to work it in cotton. I just wanted to try this stitch with some different yarns and thickness. So this is really wool to be worked with 5.5 millimeters hook, so nice and thick wool. This here actually I am working on a Braided, and of course there will be the tutorial, but for now on I just want to show you the idea how to work this in round. So this kind of it looks like a spiral braid or a braid in spiral, as you can see, so it's really wonderful. And here I wanted to try it with this cotton yarn number 5. It's to be worked with 2.5 millimeters hook. It's kind of fingering yarn, and I just wanted to try it because I have, I don't know, about 3 skeins of 50 grams of this cotton. It's really nice. It's pearl, like cotton pearl, and I wanted to make something for my a tablecloth or something for my round table that I have. So I think it's really nice, isn't it? So how many things you can work already by knowing how to work it in round? So many. So from cushions, runners, actually table runners. Look at it, isn't it just beautiful? Imagine it large. And pot holders, or what can I say else? Carpets, and baskets, or bags, hats, and so many, you name it. Okay, so many beautiful things. Now let me just show you, but so how to work it actually. Now I will work it with a 4.5 millimeters hook, but you can see you can work it with any kind of yarn and hook. It is beautiful. Now we will begin with the magic loop. Magic, it's here. So magic loop, and into it we will work 12 single crochets. Here I am. So 12 single crochets to work around our magic loop. So I finished my 12, I've worked my 12 single crochets, closed the magic ring, but not entirely. Okay, insert hook into the first single crochet, and of course slip stitch. Now to work one of these puff completed, one of these puff stitch for this particular technique, you need to work 1 double crochet, chain 2, and behind, let's say behind we work a stitch, behind we work the puff stitch, and this is a complete. So for the first double crochet and chain 2 with chain 3 plus chain 2. Chain 3 stands for our first double crochet, and chain 2 for the chain 2 space, and behind, so which means here into the last single crochet that we worked, insert hook and work your puff stitch. Now for the puff stitch, 1 yarn over, 2 yarn over, 3. Now pinch it here, yarn over, pull through all, and here in between the puff and this loop, insert hook, pull up a loop, and now single crochet. This is a completed stitch. Now to complete all around, we will need to work like this. we will skip into the very next single crochet. So we work the the double crochet plus chain 2, so chain 5 into the first, and back we work the puff. Now we skip into the very next single crochet and we work the double crochet plus chain 2. Now we go back where we work the double crochet of the previous puff and we work the puff stitch. 1, 2 for this second stitch, 3. Now I'm working with 3 loops the puff stitch when I work with thick yarn. But when I work with thin yarn, here I work it with 4 and here I also work it with 4. Okay, so it's up to you how many times pull up a loop and yarn over. Okay, now let me show you again. This is the second stitch. Now let's see, here I work my double crochet into the very next single crochet, work double crochet chain 2 for the next puff, yarn over, come back where you worked the double crochet for the previous puff and work the puff stitch and complete this third stitch. And we continue on like this. So this is the double crochet of the previous puff, skip into the very next single crochet, work double crochet chain 2 and go back where you work the double crochet of the previous puff and work your puff stitch, 2 and 3. So this is how we have to work the stitch. Okay, now again skip into the single crochet, the very next single crochet actually, and work double crochet chain 2 and back into the single crochet where you work the double crochet of the previous puff and work your puff, 3 and single crochet. We continue on exactly the same, so into the next single crochet, double crochet chain 2 and the puff stitch we work it into the where we work into the single crochet where we work the double crochet for the previous puff. Okay, even if it's, no, I have to, and where is my little loop here, pull through and single crochet. Okay, again here is my next single crochet, work double crochet chain 2 and back into the single crochet, exactly previous single crochet actually where you worked the double crochet for the previous puff and work your puff stitch. Okay, again into the next single crochet, work double crochet chain 2, back into the previous single crochet where you work the double crochet, 2, 3 and continue on like this. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. We have 4 more to work and we have 3 single crochet left. No problem. Work the double crochet into the next single crochet, chain 2, go back and work the puff stitch, 1, 2 and 3. Into the next work double crochet, chain 2, go back into the single crochet where you worked the double crochet previous and work your puff stitch. So always work into the double crochet, previous double crochet, the puff stitch for the next completed stitch. Okay, now we have here single crochet, the last one, work double crochet, chain 2 and back to the single crochet where you work your double crochet for the previous puff and work the puff. Okay, and now we need one more stitch and this is will be the same for all around. So for each round actually, to finish, where you worked the first puff, you will come now and work exactly into the same single crochet, the double crochet chain 2 for the last puff. Exactly where you worked the first, and back where you work the second to last, actually double crochet and work the puff. And now we have 12 puffs, and to finish the round we want to find our chain 5, and we will insert hook into the third chain of it and slip stitch to join. Now we can just pull the yarn here and close our magic loop nice and tight. It's a little bit ruffle, but it's perfect. This is the first round where I show you how to work the stitch. Now from the second round we will actually begin to work the pattern, and to work the pattern we always chain 1 and turn, and we will go back into the chain 2 space here, insert hook and work another slip stitch. Okay, and now we are ready to begin our round. Now as you can see, 12 chain 2 spaces we have here, the chain 2 spaces. Okay, and in these chain 2 spaces we will work the stitches. So chain 5 to begin, chain 3 for the double crochet plus 2 more, and now into the last, so it's from to the right into the first chain 2 space, so to the right, not to the left as we normally work. So to the right into the chain 2 space, work your first puff. Okay, always to the right we go to work the puff. Okay, now skip into the very next chain 2 space. This is it, this is the first where we began, this is the second. Work the double crochet and chain 2, and now we have to come back into the previous chain 2 space, which is the first here, and it's here that we insert hook and we work over the double crochet. Always we work the puff. Okay, and this is how we continue on. This is how we work the stitches. And this is how we will work them all along the pattern. Here I work the double crochet into this chain 2, so I skip this, I insert hook into the next, work my double crochet, chain 2, and where I worked my double crochet, it's here that I insert hook, and over my double crochet I will work my puff. And here I have my third stitch ready. We don't increase in this second round, we will increase from the third. So here I work my double crochet, I skip it into the next chain 2 space, work my double crochet, chain 2, and back where I worked my double crochet, work the puff. Continue on like this until the end of this round. Show you one more time. So this is the chain 2 where I work the double crochet, I skip it, I insert hook into the next, where I work double crochet, chain 2, and back where I worked my double crochet, work your puff to finish, to complete actually the stitch. Okay, this is what I have, and I will just continue on until the end. I have 11. Now to finish the round, always you work the double crochet, so this is the last chain 2 space where I worked the double crochet, and now to work the last double and puff, so the completed stitch, I will work the double crochet into the chain 2 where I worked the first puff, work double crochet, chain 2, and into the chain 2 space where I worked this double crochet, I worked the last puff. Okay, and I finished my second row. Now exactly the same, insert hook into the third chain, 1 2 3, and slip stitch to join. From the third round I will show you how to increase, and that's all. So it's not easy, but neither difficult, so you can do it. So to work the increase, first of all, I want to say to you how to, so the algorithm. Now for this, it's exactly as for the single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet. So we have 6, we began with, 12. So we will increase in each round 6. How? Into the third round, we will work 2 normal puffs and 1 increase for 6 times. So 2, 1 increase, 2, 1 increase. Into the fourth, we will work 3 normal puffs plus 1 increase 6 times. Into the next, we will work 4 puff stitches plus 1 increase 6 times. Always 6 times, because we increase 6 times in each round. And this is the algorithm. Then 5 puff stitches plus 1 increase, then 6 puff stitches plus 1 increase, always 6 times. Now let me show you how to increase. So we begin with 2 puff stitches normally worked. For this we will chain 1, don't forget to turn. And if you don't know, am I on the back side or on the, I know that I worked on the back side. So my second, each of my even number is on my wrong side. I have the tail here. This is the wrong side. So I will work each of my odd number on the front side. So chain, turn, insert hook into the chain 2 space here, and slip stitch. Chain 3 plus 2, so chain 5, and begin to work your first puff exactly into the chain 2 to the right side. 3, close. Now this is the first completed puff, and now let us work another one. This is the first chain 2, this is the second, insert hook into it and work double crochet, chain 2, and go back into the first chain 2 space and complete with your puff. 1 2 and 3 times, pull up, pull through all, and single crochet. Okay, now I worked 2 normal puffs. I want to work my increase. Now the increase is worked like this. We work a completed stitch, but we will work it into the single crochet, into the double crochet of the previous round. So here is the chain 2 space where I worked the last double crochet. Now into the double crochet here, where I have the chain 2 space here, into the double crochet of the previous row, insert hook and work double crochet, chain 2, and the puff stitch will be worked into the puff stitch. So into the puff stitch of the previous round, insert hook and work 1 2 and 3, and close. And this is the increase. Now we have to work again 2 normal puff stitches, but let me show you how. Here is the chain 2 space, the first one which is unworked in, so I have the double crochet here. We work the double crochet, chain 2, and we go back. We search for the chain 2 space of the previous puff, because we worked actually over it when we increase. It's here, okay? It's this one. So it's here that we want to work the puff. 1 2 and 3. Okay. Now we have to work one more. Here we worked, insert hook into the next chain 2 space, work double crochet, chain 2, go back where you worked into the chain 2 where you already worked the double crochet for the previous puff, and work your puff. And now we have 2, and we need to increase one more time. Now let me show you. Now here I work the double crochet, and here is the double crochet of the previous round, and here is the puff stitch. So it's Here I will work the double crochet, here the puff stitch. And this is the chain 2, where you have to work the puff stitch of the next puff stitch normally worked. So after the increase, okay, here. Now, double crochet, work into it your double crochet. Chain 2, and into the puff, into the single crochet of the puff, of course, work your puff stitch. 2 and 3. Okay, perfect. Here it is. I increased, and now again, insert hook into the chain 2 space, work the double crochet, chain 2. So we increased, and now for the very next, we work into the chain 2 space that is unworked, work the double crochet, chain 2, and we come back. And it's here. Can you see it's here, the chain 2? Because we actually worked the increase puff over it. So it's here that we have to search for it. And we go on, and 1, 2, and 3. I have a little knot. And we work one more into the next chain 2 space, work double crochet, chain 2, and come back into the chain 2 space where you work the double crochet for the previous puff and work the puff stitch. These are 2, and now again a increase, and this is how we continue on. So the increase is worked into the double crochet of the previous round and into the puff stitch of the previous round, the puff stitch of course. So here it is, the chain 2 space where I worked the last double crochet of the last puff that I worked, and now into the double crochet I increase, which means I work 1 double crochet, chain 2, and into the puff, and then into this chain 2 space we work the next puff. So I insist because it's important. I work into the puff stitch, and this is the increase. Okay. Now this is the increase, and the next it's working to the chain 2 space, the double crochet, and as I said, I worked over it, so just search for it. It's here, the chain 2 space where you work the double crochet, and it's here that you have to work the puff. Okay, and that's all, my friends. So this is how we have to continue on and to work all around. So we can actually see our puff stitches, our increases. Here it is, where we worked into the puff. Okay, we continue on all around. We had 12, and now we will have 18. So I am almost at the end, almost finished with the round, but I increased. I worked 1 and 2. Wait a minute. I worked 1 and 2, yes. And now I want to increase one more time. 1 and 2. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And yes, I have to work one more. And this must be an increase. Okay. So it's 1, 2. And the increase will be worked into this double crochet. So it's here, the double crochet under the first puff stitch worked here. Work a double crochet, chain 2, and into the puff stitch work the puff stitch. 2 and 3. So because we begin with normal puff stitches, we will always finish with an increase. And now of course into the third chain of the beginning, chain 5, insert hook and slip stitch to join. And this is how you have to work your increases, and this is how you have to continue on. Only that, the only difference is that in each round you will increase after 3 So now we work 2 plus 1 increase. Into the next will be 3 puff stitches plus 1 increase. Into the next will be 4 puff stitches plus 1 increase, 5, 6, and so on. 6 times, always 6 times. And now we have 18 plus 6 into the next, we will have 24 plus 6 into the next, we will have 30 plus 6 into the next, we will have 36, and so on. Depends on on the project that you want to work. And we will always turn our work to begin a new round. Now let me show you one more time. So work a chain, just to be sure that you understand. Turn your work. It's here the chain 2, so here we will slip stitch again and work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and now I will skip into the chain 2 space here and work my first puff stitch. 1, 2, and 3. 1. So we have to work 3 puff stitches and an increase. This is my first one. Here I began, skip into the next chain 2 space, work 1 double crochet, go back into the chain 2 space where you worked the first double crochet, which is the chain 5 now, and work another puff. 1, 2, and 3. This is the second puff. Go on into the next chain 2 space, work 1 double crochet, chain 2, go back into the chain 2 space, previous chain 2 space, and work the puff. And we already worked the first 3, and now we need a increase. For the increase, here I work the last double crochet. This is the chain 2, it's here the double crochet of the previous round, but I will work the double crochet chain 2, and here it is the puff. Into the puff, into the single crochet, of the puff, work another puff stitch, and this is the increase. Single crochet. This is the increase, and we continue on like this. Here is the next chain 2 space, work double crochet, chain 2, and go back. Now we have to search a little bit for the chain 2 space. It's here. Work 1, 2, and 3. And this is the first. I will work 2 more and an increase, and so on. So this is how you have to continue on. As I said, for the length that you need. So just keep in mind 3 plus increase, and the increase, it's obvious where it is. Now next round will be 4 plus an increase, next round will be 5 plus an increase, and 6 plus an increase, and so on. Always repeat these 6 times all around, but you will see it's obvious it's 6 times because it's like this. So this is the pattern stitch. This is the way you have to work it to create this wonderful wonderful braid, spiral braid. Okay, so hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more other tutorials on crochet and knitting, and see you at the next tutorial. Bye bye. Just one more thing I want to tell you. So we will always finish a round with a double crochet and the puff stitch. So double crochet worked here into the chain 2 of the first puff worked of the same round, and the puff, the last puff, into the chain 2 space here, and the increase will be always work the last increase. So each round will finish with an increase, and the increase will be worked into the double crochet of the previous round on the left side of the first puff worked, so like this, and the puff stitch into the first puff of the right side of the first puff worked of this round. Okay, so this is what I wanted to tell, because maybe it's a little bit difficult these things to understand, but just give it a try. You'll see it's not that difficult as it seems to be, you know. Okay, I let you to the tutorial. See you at the next tutorial.